Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Guman saying happy Friday. Well, as we reported on Thursday, VI Taxi Association drivers were kept out of the Waco dock after Waco decided to enforce its agreement with its new contractor, Best Taxi. But a top VI Taxi official says its recent dispute with Waco is not just based on concerns about Best Taxi's capabilities. There are concerns about a conspiracy behind the scenes. News2's April Knight has more.
The VI Taxi Association is still in limbo, awaiting the court's decision on its complaint against Waco for giving exclusive concession rights to a newcomer, Best Taxi.
Right now, the way it is at Waco, it is so sad that nobody is seeing the right.
According to VI Taxi's Winston Parker, they've been working the Waco dock for 40 years, supplying it with some 200 drivers a day on average. He says giving the contract to Best Taxi, whose president Kerry Harrigan was once a VI Taxi member, is detrimental to tourists going through Waco.
Blue Taxi did not meet the requirement in any way. They did not have their drivers up to this day.
But that's not their only issue. Parker believes that the deal between Waco and Best Taxi is mired in corruption and conspiracy. For starters, attorney Terry Griffith, who used to represent VI Taxi, is now working against them in the case.
We have alleged that it's a definite conflict of interest. She even represented VI Taxi in another concession agreement. So many things are done in hiding, behind the scenes, so it's hard to get the evidence.
The loss of the Waco contract is detrimental to VI Taxi's 650 members. According to Parker, it's the biggest concession they had, and their members are sure to feel the blow. Still, Parker is pleading VI Taxi members to stay out of Waco until they hear from the courts.
Stay away from Waco until you all hear from us. We are not going to just lie by and let you all stay out there and suffer. Hang in with VI Taxi and we're going to be all right.
Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
And we will keep you updated on the court's decision on this matter. Also on Thursday, Governor Kenneth Mapp announced a multi-million agreement with a private company to restore the VI's racetracks. But that's just half of their strategy. The governor also laid out some amendments to current legislation that would help the horse racing industry kick off. News2's April Knight has the details.
Governor Mapp said he wants to bring VI law up to speed to enable a thriving horse racing industry.
This proposed legislation evidences my administration's commitment to revitalizing and improving the horse racing industry in the territory.
It's the second part of Mapp's approach to reviving horse racing in the Virgin Islands. The first part was making a deal with VIGL Inc., which would invest $30 million up front to get the two racetracks in the territory up to standards. The governor said he'll send a package of amendments to the Senate that would combine the two horse racing commissions in the territory into one commission with 9 voting members.
With 4 from St. Croix and 4 from the St. Thomas St. John, with 1 member residing on the island of St. John, with the Commissioner of the Department of Sports, Park and Recreation serving as the 9th voting member.
It would also authorize franchises of up to 20 years. These would be subject to stringent regulations, from anti-doping measures to determining the race-worthiness of horses.
That will no longer be left to the sole decision of the horse owners.
The governor's amendments would also allow franchisees to run casinos in the facility, but with certain limitations.
In order to avoid competition with other casinos and video lottery terminals operators, the casinos would be limited to 200 slot machines on each island.
Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
Remember, early voting is in full swing, and that goes on until October 31st. Election officials are still urging people to take advantage of the opportunity to come out and vote early. Early voting happens from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. until October 31st in your local election offices. Some St. John voters have been having trouble finding the polling site there. It's on the 3rd floor of the Marketplace, Suite 2. So far, 96 people have voted on St. John in total. On St. Thomas, 1,905 residents voted, and on St. Croix, 1,094 ballots have been cast to date. Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett was in North Carolina on Thursday, showing full support for Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton. Plaskett, who endorsed Clinton in April, joined First Lady Michelle Obama and members of the Congress to encourage voter turnout. Plaskett said the rallies are an opportunity to draw parallels between national and Virgin Islands issues. Plaskett also said she's serving as surrogate for Clinton this election, speaking about issues such as the territory's right to vote for president and the Virgin Islands' inclusion in the Affordable Care Act. In just 11 days until Election Day, and there's a major development in the race for president. The FBI director today announcing the Bureau is reviewing its probe into Hillary Clinton's personal server after finding new emails in a separate investigation into disgraced Congressman Anthony Weiner, and that may be related to the investigation. Mary Maloney has this report.
Hillary Clinton has been leading Donald Trump in almost all national polls, but she got some bad news Friday when FBI Director James Comey announced the Bureau is reviewing its investigation into her personal email server. Comey said in a letter to members of Congress, quote, "In connection with an unrelated case, the FBI has learned of the existence of emails that appear pertinent to the investigation. And although the FBI cannot yet assess whether or not this material may be significant, and I cannot predict how long it will take us to complete this additional work, I believe it is important to update your committees about our efforts in light of my previous testimony."
They are reopening the case into her criminal and illegal conduct that threatens the security of the United States.
As he begins a three-state Friday campaign blitz through Iowa, New Hampshire, and Maine, Trump immediately jumped on the issue.
Hillary Clinton's corruption is on a scale we have never seen before.
It's been a good week for Trump's team, gaining ground on Clinton in Nevada and the crucial state of Florida. The latest Bloomberg poll now shows Trump with a 2-point lead in the Sunshine State. And while that's still within the margin of error, it's significant because polling done earlier in the month showed Clinton ahead. Meanwhile, Clinton is campaigning in Iowa Friday and has not yet responded to the new development. I'm Mary Maloney reporting.
Keeping our eye on the economy, let's take a look at the stock market watch at the New York Stock Exchange. Numbers there, the Dow down 8, NASDAQ 25, S&P 500 down 6. Coming up on News 2, Halloween safety tips and some events to go with it. That's coming up. Welcome back. On October 26, 48-year-old former police officer Tracy Richardson was arrested after he was positively identified by the victim as the male who assaulted her on October 24th. The victim stated that she was at her residence when Mr. Richardson, who is her husband, came home and started to argue with her and damaged several items in the residence. Mr. Richardson left the residence and returned shortly and struck her in the face with a closed fist, causing injury to the right side of her chin. Tracy Richardson was also charged with third-degree assault and illegal discharge of a firearm. No bail was set for Richardson under the domestic violence law. An open administrative VI parole board meeting will be held on St. Thomas November 3rd at 11 a.m. at the DPNR Cyril Lee King Conference Room, and then on St. Croix November 4th at 11 a.m. at the Curriculum Center Conference Room, Kings Hill, next to the Superior Court. Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority has scheduled the closure of Congans Education Street on St. Thomas on Sunday, October 30th. That's from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. while crews transfer primary lines and equipment to a newly planted pole and remove a leaning pole from the area. No electrical service will be interrupted as a result of the work being completed. While crews are working on the Congans vehicular traffic will be rerouted. Well, news from the Department of Health. Here are the latest Zika numbers. According to the surveillance report released by the department on Wednesday, there are now 575 confirmed cases of Zika in the territory, and 61 of those are pregnant women. Some 153 results are still pending from the CDC. The distribution of Zika cases across the 3 islands remain pretty much the same. It's significantly higher on St. Thomas, which has 454 confirmed cases. 89 are confirmed on St. Croix and 32 confirmed on St. John. On Monday, October 31st, a seminar is being held at UVI St. Thomas in the ACC building conference room. It's from 6 to 8. It's historical because a new nonprofit kicks off that empowers women. Here's more.
The nonprofit is called I Am Be, and it stands for I Am Beautiful. And I Am Beautiful is supposed to serve young women between the ages of 12 to 26 in the community. And what we want is to actually bring out empowerment, not through how you are on the outside, but actually a mindset. Our plan is to have multiple workshops. We want to have award shows. We also want to have contests as far as scholarships where they can do academic things and earn money, and even little prizes. And future goals is to send them away to actual beneficial seminars. The first program, which started at St. Peter and Paul, we had various workshops, and then we ended it with an empowerment seminar with family and friends. So this will be our first fundraiser for the nonprofit, and the conference is going to be down UVI in the ACC building from 6 p.m. until 8-9, and it's going to have 3 wonderful speakers.
It's going to be great. Be sure to go out and support. The Department of Human Services Division of Children and Family reopened its offices at 6179 Anna's Hope today. The division was temporarily relocated to Mars Hill St. Croix and returns to Anna's Hope to provide services offered by the Foster Care and Adoption Unit and Protective Care Unit. Commissioner-designee Dr. Anita Roberts chaired a meeting at the University of the Virgin Islands Interagency Council on Homelessness. Some more updates from the department, and that was this week to discuss and address the growing homelessness issue in the territory. There are other major concerns that were brought up, such as larger numbers of veterans finding their way down to the Virgin Islands and the immediate problem that the Catholic Charity is facing, which needs to be resolved by October 2016. We'll keep you updated. Trick-or-treating is one of the most important parts of celebrating Halloween, and to make sure that your children have a safe time, make sure to follow some important safety tips and rules. Make sure your child is aware of their surroundings. Be careful in the dark. Be cautious of traffic. A great rule for trick-or-treating is to make sure your children carry a cell phone and give you a game plan of where they are planning their Halloween trick-or-treating. Have them call every so often to let you know how they are. Travel in groups. A general safety rule is that it's always best to travel in a large crew. The most important Halloween trick, make sure your kids do not eat candy before you have a chance to check it. Pack a snack for your child and instruct them not to eat any of their treats until they're home. When checking the Halloween candy, look for evidence of tampering. Anything that looks weird should be tossed immediately. And for motorists, please drive carefully. There may be many young ghosts and goblins roaming around in the neighborhood, and some might be wearing masks too, so keep that in mind. Well, Tutu Park Mall has a Halloween jamboree. These are some of the events taking place. It's going on. Started at 5 and ends at 9. There will be a costume parade, best costume wins, face painting, and storytelling. There is a haunted house you can step into as well that's opened until Monday. Be sure to check out Sunny Al Shopping Center on St. Croix as well, as they have a fun lineup. Fat Turtle in Yacht Haven Grand. They have Villains versus Superheroes Halloween Party. That's on Saturday from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. There is a costume contest. Caribbean Saloon, they have 2 spectacular nights of fright on tap. They have Friday night tonight's karaoke, hosted by Hector and DJ Rob. Saturday night, it's 2-time Billboard charted producer Joseph Reese. He returns to Saloon with a full 3D interactive laser performance. You don't want to miss the surprises in store costume contest, both nights from 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. The 6th annual Doghouse Pub Halloween Party. Come as your inner child's favorite hero, villain, or dress up. Costume contest is at midnight. Soca-ween takes place at Crush Nightclub on Saturday, featuring 3 bands, 6 performers, and 3 DJs, and a whole lot of fun. The theme is Final Destination. Illusions Nightclub, they had their 2nd annual Freaky Friday Halloween costume party contest. Cash prize for the best costume, music by DJ Malley and DJ Country. Now, for those who want to head to the BVI on Yost Van Dyke, Foxy's mixes Halloween with sailboat racing tonight and Saturday. Lovers of Callaloo and gumbo are in for a tasty treat. Saturday marks the annual Callaloo Gumbo Cook-Off on the Christiansted Boardwalk, sponsored by the Crew de Croix. Local chefs break out their favorite recipes for all to enjoy. There will also be a pie toss, where you can toss the pie into the face of your favorite politician or celebrity. The tasting begins at 2 p.m. and the awards ceremony and after party is at 5 at Angry Nate's. Be sure to stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.
As we take a look at the current satellite, we're still seeing a good bout of moisture just off to our north. That cold front has really begun to break apart, but the moisture is still sticking around. So that's what's brought us our showers for today. You can see it on the estimated radar. Maybe a couple of showers out near St. John's as well as St. Thomas. St. Thomas especially has had a couple of good downpours throughout today. Now throughout tonight, we'll see a shower or two. They'll be passing 78 degrees. As we head into tomorrow, St. John, 88 degrees. Spotty showers for the weekend as that moisture still continues to stick around and just be drawn up north. St. Thomas, maybe potentially seeing more spotty showers than St. John. St. Croix, out of the bunch, still a chance of spotty showers, but we're really looking at less precipitation out there. Here's a look at your Atlantic forecast. Out on the waters, waves 3 to 5 feet, winds on the southeast 5 to 10 knots. So other than those showers out there, it's looking pretty good out on the water. You head to the Caribbean side, very similar as well. Winds out of the southeast 5 to 10 knots, and those waves just slightly calmer at 2 to 4 feet. Here's a look at your extended outlook. So we have some showery conditions moving through our weekend. Saturday and Sunday, temperatures will be in the upper 80s, your lows in the upper 70s. Those are going to stay pretty same throughout the week. However, come middle of the week, there is going to be a low pressure development that may occur, and that's going to happen towards the middle of the week. So we'll have an uptick of moisture. We'll be keeping an eye on that area for some tropical development. But as of right now, just really looks like we'll be seeing a few more spotty showers throughout your Wednesday. All right, I'm going to toss it back to Sandy in the studio.
Thank you for that. Have a wonderful weekend. Time for our News to Weather picture there by Kiara Ostry of Ricardo Richards Elementary School. Kiara, too, is ready for the weekend and hoping for that type of weather, nice sunshine to head outdoors and have some fun. Kiara, have a wonderful weekend. Send us your News 2 weather picture to the address to be featured right here on News 2. Well, be sure to stick around. News 2 Sports comes your way next.
I'm Gary Anthony, and this is News 2 Sports. Game 3 of the World Series is tonight at Chicago's Wrigley Field, and the city of Chicago is more hyped up than a 10-year-old on a Captain Crunch sugar high. This series is tied at 1 game apiece, and the average ticket price is $3,000. The Cleveland Indians will be starting Josh Tomlin on the mound, while the Cubs go with 16-game winner Kyle Hendricks, who had a microscopic 1.32 ERA at Wrigley Field this season. However, the biggest news on the field is the fate of Cubs slugger Kyle Schwarber. His potent bat will not be in the lineup for the games at Wrigley as he continues to recover from knee surgery.
Unfortunately, Kyle has not been medically cleared to play the field, so he will not be in the lineup the next 3 games. But we do look forward to him impacting the game as a pinch hitter for us, and certainly is, should the series return to Cleveland, would be eligible to continue as a designated hitter.
Not disappointed at all. You know, it was a long shot at the most. I just can't physically do it. So, you know, I'm going to be ready at any time during the game to go out there and have a pinch hit.
Tonight's first pitch at 8:08 can be seen on Fox, Channel 9, and 409 in HD on Innovative Cable. From batting helmets to football helmets, last night's Thursday night NFL football game was another clunker between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Tennessee Titans. Second quarter action, Marcus Mariota to Kendall Wright for the pretty 36-yard TD. 10-zip Titans. still in the second, and the nice TD run by DeMarco Murray puts the Titans up 24-zip, and they go on to win 36-22. Staying with the NFL, the Buffalo Bills host the New England Patriots. In our last episode, the Bills handed the Pats a 60-0 spanking in Foxborough, I'll bet without Tom Brady. Well, Brady is back and his revenge tour continues. The Bills' LaShawn McCoy has a hamstring injury and his status is uncertain for Sunday. I say take the Pats to win by double digits. Sunday night, it's the Cowboys hosting the Eagles in an NFC East battle that features two rookie QBs off to great starts. The Cowboys' Dak Prescott and the Eagles' Carson Wentz. This is a great matchup between the Cowboys' offensive line and the Eagles' front seven. I like the Cowboys to win at home. From crossing routes, we go to cross country. Hundreds of local kids filled the green at St. Croix's UVI campus on Wednesday afternoon. The elementary division had the most participants with nearly 100 kids running in both the boys and girls races. The junior division featured several runners challenging previous course records. The next cross-country event will be for the championship on Saturday, November 5th, beginning at 7 a.m. at the UVI St. Croix campus. That's it for sports. Have a great weekend. Sandy, back to you.
Great highlights there, Gary. Thank you. Have a great weekend as well. That is all for now. We'd like to thank you for joining us. On behalf of all of us here, do have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next time.